Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be going over how to create a successful ktube channel. This video is obviously mainly based on my experiences and I can't speak for everybody. But I have been doing this for more than a year now and I want to help other people. So I will mainly be going over creating your YouTube channel, your intro and outro, as well as making your first video. I will also discuss editing. Mainly because that's a big thing in this community and it has almost become a requirement for good editing if you base your channel on rankings, song compilations etc. But don't worry, I'll talk about that more in detail later. Okay, enough rambling. Let's just start. First step is creating your channel. Before you make it you want to decide on a name. For me, I look at Tumblr usernames and then change them slightly so that I'm not copying them. What I see a lot is, you take a word, for example, ferry, and then add an idol after, typically one whose name starts with the last letter of the prefix. For example, I choose hyunjin, and then boom, you have a channel name. I really like channel names that combine a song title from a group and then add an idol's name after. But honestly, all you really need to do is to make it memorable. No one is going to remember Jungkook's Banana Milk or choose Apple Heart. My advice is to make it short, make sense together, and to be easy to pronounce. The usernames that do this the best have a combination of two words, like mine. If the two words are related to each other, even better. Mine does this. Obviously rain and Jinsoul's solo song being Singing in the Rain. But I'm sure you could already figure that out. So yeah, I recommended taking at least an hour or two thinking of a name. I know that may sound ridiculous, but the more name changes you make, the less recognizable your channel becomes, as only people who keep up with your channel constantly will know your changes. However, if you desperately want to change it, do it. The longer you wait to do it, again, the more recognizable your new name becomes compared to your old one. Now I don't know if anything I said made sense, but hopefully it did. You will also need a channel banner and icon. If you are lazy, like me, an easy way to do this is to find an icon and then color match to make your banner, and add your channel name in the center. I prefer the text being quite small, but still viewable. Obviously, you can do a lot more, but that's kind of a basic channel layout you can do if you are uncreative, like me. Also, your banner's dimensions must be 2560 by 1440 pixels, which you can do on Pixart, Canva or whatever you want to use. I also recommend only having one idol in your profile picture and the idol's face being visible from your channel page, because YouTube on mobile makes your profile picture really small. And I also assume tablets do this as well, but I don't have one so I don't know. The one thing I want to say about intros is that don't make them over 15 seconds long and make them as short as possible. The more people click off your video in the first 10 seconds, the more YouTube doesn't push out your video. So a shorter intro is better for the YouTube algorithm. Basically, screen record clips of music videos or photo shoots. Add some instrumental and slap the footage together, editing to the music. And of course add your name. I think having a unique channel intro makes you stand out more. For example, mine mimics a VHS tape. However, if you are inexperienced in editing, I'd choose the more basic one until you figure out your editing style and what you want your channel aesthetic to be like. As for an outro, I don't have much to say other than to have one and put an end screen on it. This is so when people finish your video, they see even more of your videos at the end, which increases viewership on your channel. Your first video should give a sense of you and what your channel is about. There are lots of different types of K-pop YouTube channels, so choose what type you want to be first. You could make aesthetic videos, make funny compilations, make commentary and do reviews. You could do unboxings. Basically whatever you want. Most channels fall into a mix of aesthetic videos and commentary. So this is what I will be using for as an example. You could make a stan list video, a review of a recent comeback or a ranking of comebacks this year, a channel trailer explaining who you are and what videos you will be posting. Basically anything but unpopular opinions and videos in that similar field. Those videos get views but not subscribers or viewers, so I'd avoid those videos. I'm not going to lie, editing videos has a steep learning curve. Luckily for me, I have been editing videos even before I started this channel, so I started with some experience. But if you haven't, it does take time to get good at it. No one is expecting for this brand new channel's first few videos to be YouTube masterpieces. In fact, if you keep on with your channel and post regularly, then most likely you will end up unlisting your old videos because you hate watching them. Anyways, point is that editing takes time. You will develop your own style eventually. The more you edit, the more you become better. As for editing apps, I use Vlo Premium, only because stupid me accidentally bought the subscription, so I wouldn't recommend Vlo if you wouldn't buy Premium. Some free mobile apps are CapCut, iMovie, which is iOS only, InShot, KineMaster. I'm not too sure on some editing software if you use a PC. I know people that use Filmora and Premiere Pro, but Filmora has a watermark unless you pay a subscription, and I'm 90% sure Premiere Pro requires you to pay. Honestly, I'm not sure, so you'll have to figure that out yourself, sorry. Some tips I have for editing are finding fonts that match together. I'll put some on screen now. Make sure you have smooth transitions and the clips don't cut just before the next one like this. Make sure your text isn't massive on the screen. And the most important one of all, don't copy someone's editing completely. Stealing everything about someone's editing is really fucking rude. And whilst it's true that you don't own a font or a special element about your editing, please be mindful that these people have worked out their own style and have spent, presumably a while editing their own video, for you to just copy everything about the editing. I know it's frustrating editing, but stealing someone's style isn't a good thing. I also want to quickly add that you should always rewatch your videos, mainly because most of the time there are some mistakes in your editing, and watching through your video can help you fix them. I'm not an expert of copyright, but K-pop channels' whole content infringes copyright, so it's more or less impossible to become monetized if you reach that requirement. But I can teach you how to avoid copyright claims. Claims being keyword, because you are still infringing copyright. It's just the YouTube detector doesn't notice it. Don't use videos of stages. Usually your video will get blocked worldwide if you do this. Instead, use stage mixes or fan-taken fancams. Personally, I prefer fan-taken fancams because they don't have logos on them and they are less bright, but you choose whichever you want in your video. Just make sure you credit the creator in your description because you are now using their content. And you can actually see when someone has stolen parts of your videos, so they do know. So it's just best to credit in the description. For music, around 7 or 6 seconds you can play without YouTube detecting the music in your video. Even less for Japanese releases. Also be careful because some music videos are copyrighted visually, and those are also mainly Japanese releases. Now this honestly depends on you. Make the thumbnails you want. I recommended the quote basic thumbnail as these usually are more clickable and drive more viewers to your channel. Which all you need to do is to basically get a HD picture of an idol or two and slap some text on it. If you choose to make your thumbnails this way, make sure your text's font is bold and stands out from the picture, as well as making sure you can read the text. So don't make it too small. Don't put it in the bottom right corner because the timestamp blocks it. Make the text a color that would be readable, example being white text on a white or light gray background. If you choose to make your thumbnails in a different way, then follow the same rules but just apply it to your thumbnail style. And I wouldn't advise putting the text in the center if you do the two selkas of an idol next to each other kind of thumbnail. Usually you block their face. Oh, and remember, your thumbnail needs to be understandable from a really small size. So bear that in mind. Also, just like editing, you will develop a thumbnail style. Here are some of my old thumbnails from a year ago compared to my ones now. Your description should contain keywords about your video. This because YouTube recommends videos based off their description and other things, but mainly your description. So make sure to add some related words in the description of your video. Now I'm not going to lie and say that doing this is completely fun. It's actually quite stressful at times. Sometimes editing can be fun and you want to do it. Other times you hate doing it and you feel tired. I know I'm bad at this. But editing a few videos beforehand so when you don't want to edit, you can still post on time. And don't feel pressured to meet the upload schedule you set. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Editing is hard, but actually getting up to edit is sometimes even harder. So for me, I usually just don't edit when I don't want to. That's why I usually upload only on the weekends when I have the free time to. It can also be mentally taxing knowing you have to post a video today but you haven't got anything. So basically what I'm saying is, don't give yourself a schedule. Post when you want to. I'd recommend twice a week. I think that's a good amount to be posting. Coming up with original video ideas is hard, really hard, but sometimes they just enter your head, especially during school. I don't know what it is about it. Anyway, I recommend keeping a list of video ideas in your notes app or in a notebook and then look at them and choose the one you want to edit the most. I hope this wasn't too much information and you have collected it all, because I truly want to see you all grow with your new channels or even your current channels. You can always DM me on Discord or comment if you want me to help you with something. As always, stay safe and have a good day today. Okay, bye bye.